at the Electric Bicycle Center in Fullerton, California, hanging out with Sam. How's it going?
Good to see you, Bart.
And Alan.
Hi.
Hey, so you have two of these E-Moto bikes,
Yeah.
and you know, they're a little bit older, but they're still going strong. And I was going to spend some time talking with Sam just about the history of the company, because it sounds like they were one of the leaders.
Yes.
Yeah, back in 2008, when I went to Interbike, they probably had second largest booth on the showroom floor.
Wow.
And that was the same year I saw that cargo bike that we reviewed a little while ago.
That red one, yeah.
But their flagship model was actually the VeloCity, I believe they call it, 1.0. And then another one similar to that was the Liberty.
Okay,
Come
so
on over
this
here.
is the VeloCity. Yeah, I see like VeloCity, VeloCity 2.5. Nice looking bike, and these are both step-throughs.
Correct. And it came in both a standard or a step-through frame. They were using the Panasonic battery cells in their battery pack, and I think it was an odd voltage, like 37 volt, 9 amp hour, if I remember correctly.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
a little bit higher voltage. Have you enjoyed these? They perform pretty well?
Yeah. And the service here is fantastic.
With Sam, and yeah, well,
He never say no. He's always there.
he's always very helpful. This is, so one for you and one for a friend, is that
My wife.
your wife?
It's
So
nice,
you ride together?
Yeah, we ride together.
That's
we everything
awesome.
Together. Yes.
When did you get them?
What, 8?
Probably 2008 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa,
They purchased them from
old
us.
school customer right here, still rolling.
Rolling.
How do you keep these things on the road like so long?
So his battery actually went bad about a year ago, I'd say.
Uh-huh.
And being that the company is no longer in business, we had to send him to someone. Unfortunately, the place we sent him to has had to redo the battery. He's on a third try of getting it done correctly.
Huh.
So finding a proper battery place to rebuild your battery pack is key. And there are a lot of customers out there that have an E-Moto that's maybe like 8-9 years old, and they're at the end of their lifespan on the battery.
Wow.
So
Well, the rest of the bike just looks fantastic. It's clean, and you know, you got the suspension fork and you know, a little LED console. A lot of this looks very familiar to some of the bikes. You know, I was just looking at some of the E-Joes, and it's got the tourney, it's got the chain cover, very, very similar.
yeah, if you look at from this same era, if you looked at like the Angen from E-Joe, it was from about that same era, and this company made one as well that used the exact same frame, and it's kind of universal pieces that different companies will pick up and kind of tweak it and make it their own and put their name on it.
Do you have anything else to say about the company? Just unique or kind of fun trivia?
Well, they were based out of the Northeast, actually, where XL is based now, out of Kent, Washington, I believe, is where this company was based out of. And they sold a lot of bikes. Again, the company is no more, though, and you've got all these people out there that have bought these, and they're looking for certain parts that you'll be able to find at a regular bicycle shop.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the actual components of the bike, the controller, the throttle, the battery, particularly, they're looking for places to go and get that taken care of.
What do you do to get a battery repack like this? I mean, people are going to watch this video and be like, yeah, that's me. What do I do?
You know, there was an article in Electric Bike Action magazine a couple months back that actually featured a company that specializes in rebuilding battery packs.
Okay.
Another option you have is perhaps you don't want to have the exact same battery that nicely fits in there. A cheaper or an alternative way of doing it is maybe call up Allcell that does batteries, and you just put a battery on the back of the rack, and you run a pigtail down to your controller, and that's another way to keep your electric bike on the move and in operation.
Keep it going. Yeah, I do really like the low centered battery. There's, you know, classic geared hub motor in the back. And this thing looks really nice. I'm glad we got a chance to look at it. I really appreciate you,
Yes,
you know, letting us check out your bikes. They look awesome, and I'm glad you're
I love the bike.
keeping them on the road.
If you think back to 2008, what was available, these were some higher end bikes that were on the market available. If you looked at like maybe Heb was out there, of course you had the iZip line. Trying to think of some other brands that were on the market, but these were a couple of really nice bikes. One of the things I didn't particularly like on this model is in throttle mode, there's about a 1 second delay when you give it throttle, and you're waiting and you're waiting. And 1 second doesn't sound like a lot of time, but if you're climbing a hill and you're like, oh, I'm getting tired and I downshift, I want to override that with some throttle.
Yeah.
You'd be waiting and waiting, and by the time the throttle kicked in, it was almost too late. You know, you're like, So that was, in my opinion, an improvement that could have been made to this particular line of bikes. And the Liberty and the VeloCity, they actually made a VeloCity and Liberty 2, like a Roman numeral 2, with a smaller 26 volt battery pack and a 250 watt motor.
Wow.
And the Liberty, actually, the Liberty 2 came with 24 inch wheels. So it was really popular for the girls that were maybe shorter in stature. They could get their foot on the ground. And I think Mr. Lee here also purchased another bike for his wife to begin with from this company, and it just didn't perform as well, and he traded it back in and got this one, which is very similar to his bike. And we was able to climb the hills down there around Turtle Rock in Irvine, down in South Orange County.
Okay.
The delay on the throttle bothers him more than bothers me. I was okay with it.
Yeah, you're okay with the throttle.
I'm fine with
Does yours do the same thing? Are they very similar?
Yeah, both of them did the same thing.
He already told me about it before I even purchased it.
Yeah, they all have some kind of little trade-offs and quirks, but I noticed that the cadence, I don't know, it almost looked like a torque sensor or something, like the spring-loaded kind of sensor for pedal assist.
Yeah, this one had a unique system on it, as does most of the E-Moto line.
I remember the red one had that, where it's like there's a little bit of play in the crank and kind of activates pedal assist. Do you mind if I try this? Can I hop on your bike real quick and pedal it around? It's always fun to, get that perspective. Do you remember how much these were when you got them?
Wow, I don't remember. It's been so long. I'd say around $1,500 a piece, maybe.
That's not bad. And the rack, is your rack holding up pretty well? I don't know what kind it is, but
it holds up very well, but it's kind of shaky when you're driving around.
Driving around here, I just wanted to highlight that because I've been looking at a bunch of racks and I didn't see a brand. Oh, Thule, yeah, Thule does good stuff. And I noticed that you don't have the fenders on the front. Is that because the rack wouldn't work with the fenders, or did they not come with a fender?
They originally came with fenders,
they did,
but I think they took them off. They probably,
so that this arm can,
over time and things like that. I want to mention something else while we're talking about the rack, though. This was originally a Thule T2 with a Class 2 hitch, and he has a Class 1 hitch on his Prius back here. Now you can see how the pin here is nice and tight, but over here he doesn't have this bolt that's clamping it down tight. So if I move the rack, keep your camera on that, you're probably going to see a lot of the movement back there where that pin is. See how that's loose there?
Yeah.
And
so
I'm moving it around.
I see.
That's not that bad, actually. It's just there's so many connections here with that adapter that it transfers into a little bit more play.
A little bit of play.
There, as you can see as I'm moving this around.
So I put a hitch on my Prius too, actually, and actually it's right over there, and I've got the rack, and that one has what calls a cam system where you tighten and there's a ball inside that kind of like pushes into the edge of the hitch. But I mean, they're real expensive, and this looks like you've had it for a while, probably making good use of it.
Yes.
So.
Kurt, on your hitch, is it a Class 1 or a Class 2?
It comes in a 2-inch, but I got a 1.25, I think.
So it's a direct fit. You don't have to use that adapter.
Don't have to use the adapter. And, it has the fold up like yours. They're kind of similar, a lot of the platform, and Thule makes good stuff. And yours even has, was this the lock, so you can kind of run that through? Nice. Nice. Good job. Okay, I'll hop on the bike. I'll take it for a loop. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Enjoy, Kurt.
Okay, so I think we're all set up. They were just messing around with it, kind of tuning it up. We've got the power on down here. Locking removable battery pack. Like I was saying, there's a lot here that hasn't really changed. Got a bungee cord right here. Okay, looks like he's kind of tucked it in here so it doesn't get caught. That's the thing. There's some nice accessories, and they still feel pretty solid. Plastic fenders. Kick up the kickstand. Press the power button over here. Yep, Emoto lights up. I want to try that twist throttle. There we go. There it goes. Okay, pretty smooth. Nice and quiet. It's still performing. This thing is going. Nice and relaxed, upright body position. Yeah, it's cool. Even the rim brakes, a little bit squeaky on that one back there. I think they were cleaning the rims before, trying to get, maybe even updating the pads a little bit. Do some pedal assist. There we go. Yeah. There's not as much play as I was expecting in that sensor down there. It's actually nice. So, this isn't like a full review on the bikes or anything. It's just neat to get a little bit of history and see these things. I'm sorry I wasn't able to help actually identify companies that can replace the battery cells and stuff. I think Sam's tried to help in the past. It goes to extreme lengths for people, and that's awesome. But maybe you are a company that can replace the cells in a pack like this, or you know of one, please link to that in the comments. You know, maybe it'll help some people, maybe it'll give you some business if you're the one who does it. We can keep more of these bikes on the road, because, I mean, yeah, there's a lot here to appreciate. So anyway, oh, look at that. They've kind of like flipped the stem. This was like an adjustable angle stem to really bring the bars back. They've dialed it in, and you know, it is about comfort when you've ridden as far and as long as probably these guys had. They had the bikes forever. I think that's about it. So that's some vintage E-Moto electric bikes. No write-up on this one, just a fun little video. Hope you guys ride safe and chime in those comments. Thanks. Okay, he's walking the bike over. I noticed that, you know, he actually took the batteries off of these bikes to lighten them up so it'd be easier to lift. And then lining up those pedals, there you go, bud. Nice, that's the way to do it. Kind of get that front wheel in the cup. And pull this up. Cool.